Now, the push for devolution is credited to have accelerated economic development at county levels of government. Presently, at least 15% of national revenue is disbursed to the counties. KTN's Abiagina sat down with Anyanga, a devolution expert, to assess the triumphs and challenges of devolution.
Looking at devolution, it is a concept that came into operation in 2010 after the constitution was, the new constitution came into effect. And we are looking at devolution now in its fourth year since the Jubilee government took over. And looking at devolution, how has this shaped investments in counties and also just creating employment opportunities to the young people?
I'll talk more about my county. From what I've seen, devolution was meant to make governance more responsible. It was meant to enable participatory approach to decision making. And of course, a lot of people, we had it in our minds that we wanted services devolved to the common mwananchi. But we have not seen much of that. At least in my county, we have not seen that. We are very far from that. So we have not achieved much with devolution. But yes, it is a good thing. A lot can be done. Yes.
And speaking about devolution and investments, we are seeing a lot of money being channeled towards different infrastructure projects at counties. And of course, roads are being built in the counties. We are seeing a lot of concern right now around the health care of patients, as well as the strikes that have been happening. Perhaps moving forward, are we likely to see a sense of stability when it comes to fewer strikes and people conducting business in a diplomatic fashion?
Well, the strikes come out of the injustices that they are facing. How do you expect people not to strike when they are not being paid? Nobody works for free. How do they live? So the important thing is to look at how do you remunerate the people? How do you take care of your people? Devolution is supposed to do that. It's supposed to take care of its people and not keep them without salaries, not keep them without being well remunerated, and then penalizing them again. So I think what devolution has done, which has made it not work very well, is that controls are a bit poor. Therefore, most of the leaders have found themselves being of very low integrity, misappropriating the funds. And most of the structures that you see, they belong to individuals. They don't belong to the people. They belong to the individuals who are corrupt within those counties. And if they could have used that money well, we'd be talking of improved healthcare. We'd be talking of improved higher levels of education, but we are not seeing that. We are not seeing that yet. Yeah.
And of course, the government is on record saying that the youth and women agenda is at the cornerstone of the Jubilee government. Perhaps moving forward, how can we engage the young people to tap into the economic opportunities that exist with devolution, be it setting up of funds to assist the young people get access to capital, matters to do with training, areas around just boosting capacity of the young people? How do we navigate through this?
If I become governor in 2017, I will do that very well. It's your government that's supposed to do that for you, to create that enabling environment for you to prosper. I will create that environment for my youth and for the women and all the other people to be able to prosper. And by doing that, basically, it's just providing opportunities, opening doors for them. If you're talking about the youth, the women, I would ideally be thinking of agriculture as the #1 priority, where generally I'd put it as entrepreneurship development, but mainly in agriculture, because that takes about 80% of the common mwananchi, and focus on that and develop it well, train them well in whatever they are doing, provide for them finances so that they are able to do that work well. They can afford to do everything that they want to do.
Yeah.
And above all, also, ensure that you help them with access to markets. So I'll be able to do that as their government. But so far, what is being done might be too little, a little drop in the ocean. That is not helping much. And as long as we do not work on education, the little help that we give the women and the youth don't help them much, because the biggest investment that the women have is education of their children. That is the first biashara that they do. Whatever money they get, they put in their children's education. So unless we streamline education and make sure that our governments are able to take care of education well, then the women will still find themselves very disadvantaged in terms of entrepreneurship.
And finally, looking at women and leadership, we are yet to get to the 2/3 majority, where we're having many women being in corporate leadership, in politics. What's your outlook for 2017? Are we likely to see more women taking up the challenge of going for the leadership positions?
Women are trying, but the ground is not very conducive to women. There's not enough support. There's not enough encouragement. There's not enough support, because you could see that even both the houses were not able to enact laws that would govern this. When there's no law supporting an issue, then it's as good as dead. So right now, the only people we are depending on are the parties. Are they going to be able to implement the gender rule? Are they going to be able to take affirmative action? Yes, they should. They should take responsibility as the people who sat down in the talks for negotiating for the new constitution. I believe everybody should respect the constitution. Let us find ways of ensuring that we respect the gender rule.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate and wish you all the best.